all the way across to Bellevue and then drive up?
What the hell? I think I heard a flush. There's not anything.
Heard of what? Flush? Maybe he's in the bathroom. He's in the bathroom.
He was in the bathroom.
He was. That's
Oh,
what he was.
Okay, we're on live here, so.
We are live.
Going live.
I thought we were
Officially-
amongst the- I was wondering, I said, whose back is that? Okay.
As I had.
Officially 5:30, so we're gonna go ahead. Now that we found Bill, we're gonna call the meeting to order.
Oh, shoot. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, so we have updates to the agenda.
I think this one.
We are going to remove number 5, which is the resolution of authorized forgivable indebtedness. We are going to add a revised auditor agreement, and we are going to add a recreation update, and we will have an executive session for 2 purposes. We're going to talk about personnel, and we're going to do a legal matter.
Those will be 2 separate executive sessions then.
Okay.
Can't do them
You can't-
together.
Okay. Well, then maybe we'll move the other one for next one because it's less complicated that way. Okay,
But you
only
just have
one
to go
now?
in and out. You can't do 2 topics in one executive session.
but we don't have to turn the camera on to go in and out, right?
Well, you should turn it on to go out, but no, you don't. As long as it's recorded in the minutes, it's fine.
Okay.
'Cause You're
So
probably
then we'll
not gonna
cover
make a
both of
decision on
those.
either.
Okay, so now we're back to 2. All right.
Okay. So, public comment.
Too nice to be here. isn't it?
No public. They're like, we don't
Okay.
care. It's nice
Overweight,
out.
Nobody's coming in here.
overweight permits.
There's 2 that need to be signed.
And I will,
Motion.
I'll make a motion to authorize the select board chair to sign the overweight.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Is that McQueen?
We have
Contractor?
McElwain Contracting and DeRocher's Bulk Services. And I'm the duly authorized agent.
Yep, yes.
What's today's date?
The 6th.
6.
I need a stamp.
An auto pen.
I'm lazier than Jean.
Yes, you need an auto pen.
So we have a wastewater treatment facility update for groundbreaking.
Yes, it will be taking place on August 26th, and I will have a date for you after Tuesday because we have a meeting with we have the on-site construction meeting on Tuesday, and we will set the time and all that good stuff then.
Okay.
Okay.
So, but the 26th will be the groundbreaking out there. Although they've been digging already. I don't know if you've been out that way, but they discovered that there was an old stump dump there where they were going to put the building. So the excavation work has turned into a really big hole.
Oh, boy. So we have a wastewater treatment facility propane.
That's a
Oh.
Joel thing. I have been working on that.
Well, we went from thinking we were gonna buy our own tank so that we could bid the fuel supply out every year. But that turned out to have a number of reasons why you don't really save that much money over the time period, and you have to maintain the tank, you have to be responsible for the tank, you have to install the tank, and in the end, it would just seem to be more of a hassle than it was worth. So I started just asking for regular bids for regular service. And that I've met with 2 of the people. I've met with Borns and with Amerigas, and they're gonna give us quotes. But in the midst of this, today Cindy Parks from the state says, you could have the contractor buy the tank, Niggly Chase, in other words, and as part of the materials they need to heat the building, because they do need this thing installed to temporarily heat the building. And then when the project is done, we would own the tank because it's bought in there. So I didn't know that was an option. So I'm waiting for an input from Laura on whether this is something we could do. If we can do it, it makes sense. And the other thing with the
I think she
propane-
did write back this afternoon that it's probably not going to save anything because we would have to buy an American iron and steel tank, which the cost is considerably higher than what the regular
Yeah.
tanks are.
Yeah,
And we have
there's
to maintain the tank.
yeah, and they're $7,000. I mean, they're not cheap. So I think that given the case, we'll probably just go back to just getting 3 quotes from the gas companies for regular service. There has to be there's some discussion as to who digs the ditch. The gas company lays the line from the propane tank to the regulator on the wall of the building. But it wasn't clear who digs the ditch. Apparently the companies don't dig the ditch, so maybe Niggly Chase digs the ditch. We gotta nail that part down. But at this point, it looks like we're just gonna have the companies do a regular propane service, I think is how this is gonna end up.
Whatever company you go with, Joel, though, you'll have to keep them as your provider,
That's right.
right? Because no other
Right.
company can fill the tanks, so.
Right.
No other, I
Right.
did check into that, that does not appear to be a practice here. The tanks go with the company. So yes, if we bid it out every year, and I've told these companies that we won't probably be doing that. It really doesn't make any sense. We'll get a company and every now and then, maybe every 3 to 5 years, I think we should bid the service out just to keep everybody honest. But we don't have to do that every year. Bourne said that they would give us a 3-year deal of some kind that would provide some protection for exorbitant price increases, but AmeriGas says they can't do that. They don't know why Bourne offered that. They said it's not allowed. So we'll find out. We'll see. So I've asked them for the best quotes, the best options. If they know of more than one option, please let us know. And that's where that stands.
Okay. So we're gonna move over to the revised auditor agreement.
Yes, I sent you guys a copy of it. It's not really any change to it except for the language because the federal laws changed around the auditing. And so we have to re-sign a new agreement with them. Pricing wise, it didn't change. The only change from the original letter that was signed a year and a half ago is that we added the asset management service because the town has never actually had like a balance sheet that, where we actually depreciate our buildings and our equipment and our streets and all of that good stuff, which is required. And it's required by the federal government now. And we just have never had that set up. And so we did, for them, it was $985 a year for them to set it up and maintain it for us. So Teresa and I both were like, yep, that sounds well worth the dollar amount. But I just need your guys' authorization to re-sign this agreement because it is over 4 years. It's about $100,000. And we don't have a choice in this. We have to have a single audit every year that we spend over $750,000 in federal money,
Okay.
which we will for the next few years.
Any questions on that? If not,
I'll make a motion to authorize my town manager to enter into revised agreement for audit services from RHR Smith and Company for the years ending December 31st, 25, 26, and 27, and 28, as required under federal grant reporting requirements.
and a second,
Second it.
all in favor?
Right?
Okay, gonna move over to a quick little recreation update so you guys can find out what happened all summer long, what we got going on. Summer equipment, it's still very much in use, heavily being used. The plan is to keep that out until the cold temps make it so that the balls can no longer stay inflated. We had a children's archery event in the park, which was free for participants, and there were 15 participants. We had an adult axe throwing event out at Northwoods. There were 13 people who participated in that, and that was something that they paid to participate in. This Saturday is the full moon kayak, and at this point, we have 25 individuals signed up to participate in the kayaking event. On the 16th, we are selling hot dogs at the trunk auction. August 31st, Sunday is Pondathon. We are looking for volunteers to help out with that. We have roles from everything from traffic controllers to phone putter routers and everything else like that. For this winter coming up, working on circuit training, working with people for yoga, working on a cardio drumming thing. We're working with the Agency on Aging for Tai Chi and bone builders, looking at information for a ping pong and game night. And we are looking for people to be leaders for open gym and basketball for little kids. So we are looking for those. Without a leader, we can't do those events. So that is the update from them. And we have pay orders. I love them so thick.
While you guys are doing that, I'll just give you a couple quick other updates. The new hot water tank for town hall is installed. We have to wait for the electrician now to connect electricity to it, so we actually can have hot water. And then we'll be starting working on bids for the railroad depot and the town garage, because they also get the new hybrid heat pump hot water heaters. And that's part of the MERP grant. There's no cost to the town for that.
So we're gonna have hot water again. Yay!
We will have hot water again. It's been a long time coming. I authorized Bruce today. We're replacing the fence at the ball field near the parking area. What's there is just rotted away. So, and that's going to be run right around $1,000.
Did he talk to you about the pavilion?
Yes. He talked to me about the pavilion, and I said, that you know what color it needs to be, because we've always bought the stuff from you.
Yeah.
So
Well, that was many years ago. I don't know if that makes sense.
I know. You have record of that, Gene. Of course you do.
Yeah, I told him he'd probably have to sand some of that because the kind of turning brown. It's been so long.
It's rough.
We
It needs
shouldn't
to
have-
be done.
We waited way too long, but it'll get done. I guess.
Heather and I were actually talking with somebody at the state park today. I think we're going to try and get quotes from USDA to round up the geese in the spring,
Ooh, nice.
because the goose
bad.
problem has just gotten out of hand in the park. And, when we get to this time of year, there is nothing that you can do about that. You can put up fences and strings and everything else you want. They can fly now. It's past that time where they're not able to fly. So they're not flying away because they like our park, but they will fly over the fence. So there's nothing really that we can do. Bruce tries to stay on top of cleaning it up, but there's way more of them than there is of him.
They were all over the park. Was it yesterday morning?
I'm not gonna lie, I ran my bicycle through there and kind of like playing around with them, and
Is it the same flock?
Yeah.
Comes back.
Like
they
50.
just keep growing.
Every goose, wherever it's hatched, it always returns there. That's part of their innate, what they know how to do. And so,
Unless you can stop them from hatching,
Yeah.
they're gonna keep
When is that? Like in the spring?
yeah,
Yes.
there's like a 1 week. Whoop, I bet that hits that. Nope. There's like a 1 to 2 week window that you can get in there. And if you can find the eggs and you have a license to do so, you can addle them. But if you can't find the eggs and somebody willing to go up against the mama goose,
Yeah, it takes, I mean, I'm part of my neighborhood here. We have an addling crew, and I'm part of that. And so I've chased mama off her nest, and, but the thing is, it's not even a one and done thing. You have to return to that nest every week or so for about 6 weeks to make sure that because all you do is coat the egg in oil, and it never matures. But you have to go back and check to make sure that it took. And so
they didn't lay a second round of eggs.
Right. I mean, you have to actually mark them, and it's fun.
And then you have to report them all in for your license, and it's a lot of work.
It's fun. Most of the mothers are very protective. We had one in our neighborhood this year. She was like, yeah, whatever, take care of them. I don't care. She just walked off. She could have cared less that we were messing with her eggs.
So we have to find out where they're laying them? Where they're,
You have to find them. And
Yeah.
there's like some in the field across the airport,
I,
there's
I
some
can
on
tell
the
you,
island,
Island
there's some
Pond
on
is
people's
just
property.
way too
There's-
big.
but, and are they like deep in the ground?
No,
No,
No?
they're just on the edge. They're going to be in some like, high grass kind of area where they're a little protected, but
Like the stuff that grows down by the dock, the
Yeah.
oh yeah,
cattails.
they're probably in there.
Cattails?
Oh,
But-
yeah.
but
Just gotta make sure you're
Island
getting a
Pond is
goose egg,
way
not a
too
lean egg.
big for egg
For the
addling. You'll
feeder
never
one.
catch them
Yeah.
all there. That's why we have so many, is because it's a very easy place for them to survive.
No, we tried all this stuff, years ago and ended up calling the Fish and Wildlife, I think it was, to bring sheets of plywood really early in the morning. You let the geese go on there, so so when people come with the plywood, they know that the geese will be there. So you let the geese do that for a little while and get comfortable, and then one morning they show up with big sheets of plywood and surround the geese, and they take them off to their grandmother's farm in upstate New York, where they live a long and fruitful life.
And they make their way to food shelf.
The state park
Sounds like what my father did
has
with my
already
cat.
reached out to USDA and has said
Okay.
they want it. And what we heard from her today was that upper management has told them they want the geese rounded up. So
Good.
So the state
But
park's
there's a
doing it,
cost.
we might as well just,
That's
and
new.
maybe not, well, they'll do the ones on that end,
They're the same one.
right?
Hmm.
But
Right.
They just go from one side of the lake to the other.
they do. What
Oh, I know they do.
there will be a cost, and
There's
I'll
50
find
of them.
that cost out so we can put it in the budget for next year. But I anticipate at least a couple $1,000s for this. So
But if it needs
It
to
won't be
happen, it needs to
free.
happen. And it's, I
It
mean,
does.
it's,
I mean, we don't
it's
have an option.
destroying,
It's gotta be done.
it's destroying a lot of things. Like the playground is covered in poo and the walking path's covered in poo, which is resulting in, yeah, there's a lot of poo.
That's not the dog catcher's bailiwick.
No, actually, they have to have a nuisance, they have to have, they're wild, they have to have a nuisance wildlife license. They'd have to have a federal out. You can goose hunt if you want to go goose hunting in town.
Well,
I did
Yeah.
suggest to Mike that we get a town dog to chase the geese off the property.
Hank is ready to sign up. Hanks wants to be on that applicant list.
It's legal. You can do that.
I said, put a dog park down there.
You can chase them away. You can throw things at them. You
Really?
can't shoot
you
them.
just
Yeah,
can't touch them.
You can't shoot them.
Down the bicycle.
But
you
you
can't
could,
shoot them? How about,
Season.
how about,
well, you could do.
yeah,
I bet
when
you could
season,
do-
if they're in season when they're all gone?
Yeah, when they're ready to fly south, they're in season.
Yeah.
And you can get one a day
Oh,
or two for a certain number of days. And do you really want to go shooting the geese in town? Like, I would never want to discharge a gun, even a shotgun out here.
We had somebody do that once.
Oh, I'm sure people have done
Yes,
it.
we
more.
did.
Well,
No, I mean, they shot our goose egg on the pond.
oh, I'm sure of it.
don't blame them.
I just wouldn't do that myself. I don't like the idea of shooting my gun in town.
The other thing that's happening, Heather's actually going with me Friday night, this whole weekend is Keys to the Kingdom, which is an event that's taking place based in Newport, but it's because it's hosted by the NEK Welcome Wagon, and it's to attract people to move to Vermont. And we actually they've identified there's 4 different households that are actually staying in Brighton for this event. And they're coming, we have one family coming from Georgia that's staying in town. So we're gonna go and talk with them Friday night. I've invited them to go to breakfast in town on Saturday morning, and we'll give them a little walking tour of town. We've invited them to attend the full moon paddle on Saturday night. And then Sunday morning we'll be going to the they have a kind of exiting brunch at the east side on Sunday morning. So we'll be
I might
attending
be running around begging kayaks off people.
Right. We're gonna try and I mean I said, we can rent them from the state park if
Yeah, I'm
if
working with
any
the
of them
state
don't
park.
have them.
And I've got extras myself and I know people, so we're wrangling kayaks if we need.
We
to.
gave them a whole list of stuff to, to add to their packet for Brighton, and gave them all of the things to do in town, all the hiking trails, because these are all people that are into hiking and biking, and that's why they want to move here.
Maybe I should
So-
take them on a 35-mile loop through the county.
They might like that. So it's
Fun
kind of a
time.
good. We used to participate. I mean, I used to do this with the state years ago before COVID. We were doing the state of stay program, which was very similar. And when COVID hit, they kind of stopped doing it. But we actually, back in those days, we brought 5 or 6 different families to town. But what we always ran into back then was we didn't have land and broadband together, because most of those people, somebody was into farming or forestry or something, and the other person was a remote worker. And so they needed both together, and we didn't have that in town. We had broadband in the village, but we didn't have any land. And so with NEK Broadband opening up service here later this fall, we're competitive. I mean, we'll actually, if we get some land to go for sale, that might be the bigger issue, but housing, I think, will be our toughest selling point right now, but I think that's the whole kingdom is going to be in that same boat.
There's getting more and more stuff on the market. Prices are coming down.
So I'll see you all next week. I'm leaving here tomorrow, so I'll be up there tomorrow night.
All right.
So this given mail, this is just an informative thing. The solar project that was gonna happen on Basil Hill is no longer gonna happen, so this is a letter stating that. That was addressed to you guys, and I opened a mistake. It was,
Yeah.
There's one.
The
planning
planning
board.
board got one.
Yeah.
It was very upset.
So,
All right.
anybody else want to
Does
see that?
anybody read it? No.
That's something that'll come at a later date.
No,
Nothing.
Nope, it'll never happen.
this will never happen. Not that one anyways.
But yeah,
Not with this company
Not
anyway.
now. Not now anyways.
Their choice?
Yep.
Yep.
Somebody said.
Maybe.
No.
No.
Wasn't anything needed.
Does all this smog affect that activity? Solar panels?
No idea.
But I would imagine.
Nobody's complaining to you, huh? Much smog?
Oh,
Not
I'm
about
complaining.
that. They're complaining about lots of other things, just not that.
When I started getting phone calls the other day about the tennis courts. So. The condition of the tennis courts. We're working on it.
I don't know. No one touches the board.
No, these are people.
We will be doing a budget report at your next meeting, and then we're going to start working on the budget right after that. Because I would like us to start looking more than just a 1-year budget, that we start looking out 3 to 5 years at least. So that we can start planning ahead for things that need to be done, so we don't get into this predicament again where we have failing infrastructure with no reserve funds for any of it.
Yeah, by the time it makes through the 4th person. I think we got it down, right?
No, not well, but water activity, right? Improvements. Right?
No reservoir changes, right?
Yeah, no.
Reservoir is supposed to start right after Labor Day. They're supposed to do the reservoir. We will be doing, I've got stuff out to the attorneys, because we're going to be doing a bond vote coming up here very shortly. I'm going to guess sometime October, November will be my guess. For the water treatment plant projects, because they want that to go to bid over the winter and start on that next spring too.
Are we in a drought? I mean, water
Um,
is really low up here.
Judging by what I've seen, I would say we are very much in a drought.
Yep, that's my
There's
sense.
several creek crossings that I've been out for hiking that there's not, I mean, even the trail on Bluff is bone dry.
Yeah, I'm interested in, and I don't see any rain in the forecast, and we might want to talk to the water department about how they're gonna. We don't want to have one reservoir when we're replacing the liner and it's drought conditions. We may not have any choice, but
Yeah, well, and I think they picked the time they did because our water usage drops way off for that first couple weeks after Labor Day. Partially because the campground closes. You know, Morris's campground closes right after Labor Day, and so that's a huge water user that drops.
He goes away immediately after.
When's the tax bill going?
Well, I thought that I was gonna get an education rate today, but I did not, so.
If we need to, we'll have to have a special.
I might have to have a special 5-10 minute meeting with everybody, because that's what I'm waiting for, to set the tax rate. Because I could start printing them as soon as
Gotcha.
so hopefully I get the information tomorrow. Can maybe have a special meeting Monday next week and get them going.
No rush. No, I do want to see it.
I do.
Skip a year.
I don't want to see it.
We're not gonna not mail them out. So next up on the agenda is approval of the meeting minutes from July 16th and July 31st. You have those packets and you got them all by email.
I guess I'll make a motion.
I was gonna say, when everybody gets a chance to read them, if they want to go ahead and make that motion.
I make a motion to accept the minutes of the previous select board meeting as written, which was, what did you say?
July 16th and 31st.
I'll second it.
All in favor.
Aye.
Sometimes I forget what I'm doing here. You guys have like knock me around. Any other business?
Don't believe so.
Mike, any updates or any new word on anything on 10 Mile Square?
10 Mile Square is with the engineer. We should get the engineering plans for that this fall. It'll go to bid this winter, and it's supposed to get built next spring. That's the timeline we're on. I just signed the grant agreement from FEMA, so it'll pay for all the engineering.
Yep,
Um,
I get that.
And we have a new FEMA person for the umpteenth time. I think this is 4 in the last 3 weeks that I've got from FEMA. And she comes up today and says, well, I'm your new person, and I we've been waiting for you to give us this information. I'm like, that's funny. Nobody asked for it, but oh, I'm sorry you didn't know that.
Hmm.
And the stupid question was, did we actually upsize the culvert on Stevens Loop in the first flood? I said, no, we did it in the second flood. When the first one, we fixed it and then it washed out again. So that was the answer. It took like 2 seconds. They could have just asked, but
Jeez.
All right. And then one more thing too, Mike. What about the waterway down headed towards Ali Value's house, that ditch line? What's
that,
going on with that?
Nick met with Dan, gotta remember what his last name is, with the state, and they've approved us to be able to use the Better Roads grant that we had from last year to get that finished, and they just approved the work that we're going to do to fix that. And so we should get that done in the next couple weeks.
Thank you.
We were waiting because that was a project that was, it had a whole different scope to it. And then it never got finished. And that's why it doesn't work like it's supposed to, because they never finished the work and none of us knew about it. And so somebody from the state kind of said, you haven't turned in anything on this grant. Well, we had a $40,000 grant for that, and we never turned any of that stuff into it. And And so, but now we have about another $10,000 worth of work we're gonna do, and the state has approved us to use the Better Roads grant for that. Because it expires the end of September 30th, so it has to be done the next few weeks. And I also just got approval today for the work that Nick did on Newark Road. We're gonna be able to use that underneath our grants and aid from the highway department. The 2025 one, which is also expiring September 30th. So we're actually gonna be able to utilize that money as well. And so now we're gonna start working on the 2026 one. And we've been tentatively awarded $14,000 towards next year for that.
Okay, anything else? If not, we will,
Have to adjourn first, right?
No,
do you adjourn and then move into?
no, you have to go into executive session and you
You
have
have
to
to
throw
move
everybody
into
out.
executive session and then,
I'll make a motion that we enter into executive session in order to discuss a legal matter under the provision of Title I, Section 313 of the Vermont statutes, finding that premature public knowledge would substantially disadvantage the town. No decisions are expected following the executive session.
can we get a second? All in favor?
All right,
Aye.
should we,
We have to stop
Thanks,
recording.